of the first day of Rosh Hashanah, Daf Kuf. And we'll learn from the Mishnah. Says the Gemara, and tomorrow we'll just learn one block. Says the Gemara, we said if an individual gets a path from my field, I have to give him a path that's 4 amos wide. Others say wide enough for a donkey to be able to walk the masai. When I give you a path in my field, how wide should it be? Enough for a donkey and his peckle. Halacha like a chedim. But how wide is it? We don't know. Comes along Dayani Goyla. Dayani Goyla, who is Karna and Shmuel. We had that before already, and we'll have it again in Sanhedrin when it goes all over in the first Pedic. Even though Shmuel is the one who made Karna have a horn pop out of his head, they still looks like good friends. Maybe this happened before that story. Dayani Goyla, but interesting. Shmuel told Karna what to say, but they're both equals because Karna and Shmuel both Dayanim together on the bezin. So why in the world does the Karna have to listen to Shmuel? You know, Shmuel said to him, "Go make this announcement," and he made an announcement exactly the opposite of what Shmuel told him. And Shmuel gets so angry. He said, "Your name is Karna. You should have a ketten coming out between your eyes, big mole coming out between his eyes." Is Dayani Goyla Shnei? You know what Shnei Goyla say? Shnei Gamya Machza, 2.5 amos. That's the width of the road you have to give. But I'm going to Dayani Goyla. So how can you say that? How can you say the loch is like these people? A donkey and a peckle at 2.5 amos are exactly the same shear. And the Rashbam said that Gamdin is not full amos. Amma means your hand. So Gamdin means like almost like a foot, because from here to here. Or others say from here to here.
The Gemara is a dwarf, isn't it?
Yeah, but
it's a shorter one.
Yeah, short. Yeah, but how big? So he says, some say from the elbow to the thing, to the tip of your feet, or others say from the shoulder, or higher up. Anyway, further, if it's a road, but you're traveling from one city to another city, so the only people traversing this road are the people from both cities, so you need 2 directions. 4 amos each way, so that's 8 amos. 8 amos. If it's a public space, then sheish esrei amos, like we live in Shabbos, 16 amos. So you can have wagons walking by as well. Derech or miklat, but the road to or miklat, for that you need shloishim v'shtayim amos. You need 32 amos. Why? Because it says, how do you know for the or miklat you have such a wide, like a boulevard? You see, it says, tachin l'choy should prepare haderech. You could have said derech by saying haderech means like 2 drach, 32 amos. So for the famous question is, why do you have to have signs when it goes to the miklat and you have no signs when it comes to oiled egel? Anyway, so one of the thing is that when it comes to mitzvah, you know exactly someone pulls you in the right direction. Here, you committed a crime, you committed murder. So the same thing here. But on the other hand, we're trying to make it as easy as possible. But it says you have to you have to try to go out of the way to make it easy as possible. We have wide boulevards, and we had signage everywhere, so they should know exactly exactly where to go. And then 48 cities to go to, so they have plenty of choices. The king, the road again, the plays together. The king can do whatever he wants, and nobody can stop him. We'll talk about Machlekes the Ram, the Rai, and all that when we get to Rosh Hashanah. What exactly a king is able to do. You know what? Out of respect for the people who person died, we don't want that people should not be able to attend the Levaya because there's not enough space there. Everyone should be able to attend the Levaya. Especially had more Ksubas, how many people should be at Levaya? Lining up. So it's a lot of people. The more people, the more covered it is. First we learned interesting. If somebody sells a kaver, derech kibra, or he sells, and we'll see the next Mishnah exactly how the kvarim worked in those days. But it used to be families. The families used to all be buried together in the same place. Exactly. The Kuchen will learn about. So he had these caves, and he had all these holes there in the walls to bury the dead, and it was sold. The person sold his cave. He needed money, he was desperate, so he sold the cave that he had for his family. Derech kibra, he sold the road to get to the cave. Mokum mamodeh, the place where they give me mamodas, where they stand and they sit, which is always right next to the cemetery. Ubeis hespeda, they had the chapel. And then he dies. His family has a right. And they can force the person who bought it to sell it back to them, because it's a pagam for the mishpacha. They don't all get buried together. The Rashbam actually says because they have nowhere else to be buried. He says sounds like if they had another place where they could have buried, then you don't have a right. Others don't say that. Just say it's a begam mishpacha. You all want to be buried together. Interesting in Shulchan Aruch and Even Ezra, right in the beginning, the Ramah says, just like over here, the family can overturn the person's decision. The father sold it. The children, after their father passed away, can take it back. So in Shulchan Aruch, Ramah Paskas and Even Ezra, right in the beginning, that if the family doesn't agree with the shidduch that this particular guy chose for the girl, they can overturn it. They can overturn it. Like Havdil by the Goyim, they say, does anybody here disagree with it, whatever the there is? Yeah, speak now or forevermore be quiet. That's what Shmuel says. You can go ahead and oppose it. Same idea as over here. The famous question everybody asks. So Esav sold his share Mars Machpelah, and then the Shvat let him in, but Allah says that if you sell it, the children come and take it back. So and it's a big problem. They talk about it. So one of the answers is the children didn't say anything. It was Esav himself who wanted it back. The Gemara says here, if a person sold it, not that he can take it back. You sold it voluntarily. What right do you have to take it back? The children, because Begam Mishpach have a right. But in that story, the Gemara says that it's only Esav, and therefore, and you have to. Nobody learned. Ain't poichs in Meshiv Mamodas. You don't do less than 7 Mamodas. So Mashabas mess. You don't do less than 7 Mamodas. Mashabas standing and stopping and standing and sitting down. Keneged. Why? For Shloimel said in Kehelis. Hevel Havolim. Hevel is 1. Havolim is 2. That's 3 already. Omar Kehelis. Hevel means pust, empty. Hevel Havolim. Hakol Hevel. Again, Hevel is singular. Havolim is 2. So that's another 3. And then Hakol Hevel is another 4. 1 is 4. A total of 7. Omar Kehelis. Hevel. So 7 times. So what's the reason? What's behind it? What's behind it? So the Rajbam says that it's hachai yitin aliboy. You're standing by a funeral. You should stop and pause and realize your priorities in life, are they really the priority that one should have? And you should do tshuva. That's what he said. The whole idea of my mother is to do tshuva. And that's what you're the hevel havolim. Life is empty. All your pursuits in life is meaningless. Gashmias. You should sit and worry about ruchnis. As a chaya adam hevel. Very interesting, Rashbam here, that your life is empty. You should pursue ruchnias, and you need 7 times before it hits you. However, he brings another shot in name other Rishonim that there are shin dalas that hang. We know the Gemara Sanhedrin will learn that the Malach Habavas hangs around, and that's why it's men and women have to be separate and all that. Here he says because there are shin dalas that hang around the cemetery, and they can be mazik you. So therefore, you stop 7 times. So in the meantime, by the time you leave the cemetery, there won't be any shade left. They're bored. But you're not leaving. You think that, and therefore they won't travel back with you. Yes, true. Yeah, maybe that's why we stopped. But then the Rashbam doesn't like it because it was we'll see in the Gemara later that it depends if the minig hamakom is through or not. What do you mean depends? If it's mamish takana, the minig hamakom should always be that you should do it regardless. Anyway, very interesting. So now you know why we do my mother's Shabbos, either for tshuva or to chase away the shaytim. Yeah. Tell you more about so
why would we do it before?
Sorry?
This explains why you do it after. But
shaytim is after. If it's tshuva, it could be before. But in a way, tshuva makes more sense before because the mace is right in front of you. Yeah. Yeah. He said to him, "Hey, what do you do where the minig is my mother? How do you do it? What's exactly my mother's Shabbos?" I'm like, "I'm right. But he's showing in the beginning, my mother it seems like they could do more as well, but he didn't do less than 7. If you're going, this is what you do. A guy screams out, stop. In other words, first they're sitting, and you say, stand up, and let's go to the next place. Then he would say, Shvu Yikarim, Shvu, sit down now, my you tired of people. So in other words, it sounds from here, they didn't do anything, they didn't dig anything, do any malacha, just stopped and started. So why you can why can't you do the Shabbos as well? How can you do Shabbos? Who buries people in Shabbos? If you bury someone bein hashmoshes, you never leave everyone overnight. You bury someone mamish like bein hashmoshes, so now it's Friday night, it's Shabbos. And you should do my mother's then as well. There's nothing wrong. You're not doing anything here. You're not making a spade. You're not doing anything if that's wrong on Shabbos. In Canada, I'm with the last case. We do the showers as well. Says the Gemara. What do you call it? Yeah. Right. The sister Rabbi Avia was married to Rabbi Avia. Shchiva, she passed away. So he did this system of Maimed and Moshe. Amar Rabbi Yosef, now I'm say he made a lot of mistakes. Rabbi Yosef says, First of all, he made two mistakes. First of all, he says only those who are related to the mace are the ones who do this. Yeah, so I guess if it's Shindalas, then why only the Kravim? Everybody can be affected, unless the Shindalas only, because it says in the Gemara Hasanet as well, when a person passes away, the children have to worry that there's a sakana in the place, and maybe only Kravim. Maybe you can explain that. But if it's true also, why only the Kravim? Why shouldn't everybody else also Hevel Havolim? I'm not sure, but yeah, that's how it was. It was only Kravim. That was the meaning. And he invited everybody to the Mamodas on Shabbos. Zweitens, and Betom, the second thing is Shein Oishel B'Yom Rishon. You only do it mamish the day of the funeral. Who of B'Yom Sheni? He did the following day. Yom Rishon sounds like any time you can do before Levaya or after Levaya, but the first day, and he did the second day. That's the problem number two. Abayam another mistake he made Shein Oisin Ela B'Beis HaKvaros, that you only make in the Beis HaKvaros who also be it. He did it at home. That's what we used to do. We should go back to 770 and do it there. But who also be it? He did it at home. He's supposed to do it for Levi. So I guess if it's true or shade, both of them apply only in the basic quotas. Rava, fourth mistake. It's only if the minig is to do it. No minig. That he might have all these ones. The only one we have a problem with is the buyer. Basically, they said to him, the Chachamim said to Rabbi Yehuda, if that's what you do by my mother's and Shabbos, all you do is sit down. There's no space, nothing else. Just sit down and you think. Im kain av b'Shabbos mutalas can do the same thing in Shabbos. Now the iyam b'beis hakvodas, if it had to be done dafke in the cemetery, which the cemetery used to be outside the city beyond the tchum, uviyim aleph, and also the first day. So this is our gisning mother. Others didn't have the gisning. So there are two problems. If it has to be the basic quotas and it has to be done b'yom aleph, which is what Rabbi Yosef said, basic quotas b'Shabbos, my boy. What's he doing in the basic quotas on Shabbos? It's outside the tchum. Yeah, be it smuchel with the quotas dam ti ben hashmoshes, one ben hashmoshes. But he doesn't answer yom aleph. The answer for yom aleph is that's kochim halo yalayla hoylech achan hayoyim. By Kochim, the night goes after the day, and therefore, since burying someone is shamas and everything else, Friday night is still considered Friday, so it's Yom Aleph. Yeah, I just told you, yeah. But if it is Goydus, how does it answer the question? And if you're not Goydus, why Taka isn't it a question? So that's how we learn. Okay, we'll continue tomorrow, Mitzvah Shem.